Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Your Daily Dose of Wisdom. Special guest today, we have Eve, the bonsai, the beautiful bonsai, just being the silent presence of wisdom. Topic for today. Number one, I want to announce I did a whole talk today on how to quiet the mind in my Path to Enlightenment group on Facebook, which everyone's willing to join or welcome to join. It's a free group. And because yesterday I did a question on, do you believe it is possible to quiet the mind? And so then, a few people asked, well, how? How do you quiet the mind? And so I shared some pointers. Now that question, how to quiet the mind, is a big question. Uh, you can't even really answer it in an hour. I mean, it's something that's taken me quite a few years to really master the ability. But part of the reason I invited that question was just to inspire curiosity, and if it's something that resonates with you, then, just make it a bit more of your priority, right? To investigate, to explore, to play with the idea of quieting the mind. Now, also, so make sure to check out the Facebook group. I'm also sharing all those videos in the other playlist on my YouTube channel, the Enlightenment Course channel. So it'll be on there when I can upload that. But if you want to participate in the live, and actually exchange with other members and stuff too, then I recommend the Facebook group. But also, I want to mention here this book, The Power of Now, by Eckhart Tolle, or Tolle, is the one that really blew my mind so many years ago, and is the reason I'm here talking about all of these spiritual perspectives and the practice of enlightenment. It's really have to give him a lot of credit for opening the gates for me. I have studied a lot of other teachers too. I love lots of other teachers like Ram Dass and Thich Nhat Hanh and Amma and Ramana Maharshi. Lots of other beautiful teachers as well. And actually some of them have YouTube channels, so I did subscribe to them and share them with you, so you can check out some of the teachers that I really vibe with, if you like what I talk about. Number one recommendation for me personally, though, would be Eckhart. So, anyway, that's the Power of Now book. Let's see. So, part of my focus with this daily dose thing is to be very present with whatever comes up in my daily life, and then share that with you and how I integrate this into my lessons. So the most current lesson that just happened a few moments ago was with my family. My daughter and my partner both expressed some frustration with me spending so much time and energy doing all of my projects. My YouTube channel, I have a bunch of projects that teach meditation in VR and lots of other stuff too. And I love, that they came to me and they expressed it. There was some emotion, which is fine. And I think it's really important with any relationship you have to allow emotions to be, to even honor your emotions when you're feeling them. Now, it is wise to be careful, not allow, like if you feel something really intense, not to allow it to just like wreak havoc, because it can do a lot of damage. Some of our intense emotions can do a lot of damage. But if you're fortunate to have friends and family that can kind of slow you down a little bit, that's beautiful. And being able to do that for other friends and family is also a huge gift. If you can let somebody be in what Eckhart and what I refer to as a pain body, then it can really help you in your daily practice. Not only it really strengthens this genuineness and this love and this feeling of being heard in a relationship, but also helps you as an individual get through it without taking it all so personally. And that's a big piece of the puzzle. When someone is coming at you emotionally, there's an important question of, do you take that personally? If you take it personally, it's almost like that. Let's say somebody's in anger. That negative energy of their anger is contagious. If you don't have quite the right practice of perspectives to keep you grounded and to not take it personally. And this is fine, but if you do know for yourself that you sometimes slip and take things personally, then, acknowledge that and consider what I have to share with you here, which is that understanding, a lot of times when we get upset, mentally, logically, we have our reasonings. We have our reasons, right? We have our stories, we have our justifications as to why we're upset, which on some level is totally understandable. But when we're talking about these deeper levels of like forgiveness and patience and compassion, then we really have to constantly take responsibility for our own inner state at all times, regardless of how valid it is on the outside world. So, for example, if somebody's coming at you with really intense emotions, on one level you could say that you yelling back. If somebody yells at you, you yelling back is just defense, okay, maybe. But on the deeper level of self-mastery, it's about when somebody is yelling at you, not to take it personal, to understand that they're in an emotion, and oftentimes emotions are out of proportion, right? We notice for ourselves and with others that somebody, let's say, is really upset about something, but if you really slow down and look at the situation, what they're upset about it's kind of a trivial thing, really, in all aspects. Once we calm down, we kind of look at it and are like, I don't know why I freaked out so much about this little thing, and vice versa. The reason that is because we all have these deeper wounds that we carry. Every human on the planet has deeper psychological wounds to some degree. And those who have done work to heal them aren't as tossed around by them. And the reason this is important to acknowledge is this is why somebody can go from 0 to 100 over something trivial. Because in truth, it's not about what's happening in the present moment. It's something that's getting poked at or triggered, a wound, and suddenly all this other emotional pain that hasn't been resolved comes in through that little moment and is intense, right? So when you can like remind yourself and remember this when somebody's coming at you with an intense reaction that doesn't fit the situation at all, then you can really see how there's no personalness in it. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. And this is actually true for all reactivity. It's always to do with us. Our reactivity is us. And who knows, there's so many lessons that can be extracted from our emotional reactivity. And something else just to point out, that it's more important to focus on our own emotional reactivity than it is to try to tell somebody else and help somebody else out of their anger, if that makes sense. Like if you may have learned when somebody's angry and you try to correct them, or you try to teach them or fix or heal them, when they're in that anger state, they probably don't really want that. They just need more. They need more drama. So something's gonna stir up in you, the drama, and then it's gonna bounce back, and it just turns into a mess. This is true for relationships. This is true for everything, pretty much. Work. But more important than focusing on anyone else outside of you is always focusing on yourself. Small example. It's like when a parent yells at a kid to chill out. That doesn't work. You can't yell at somebody to chill out. You have to speak from a true sense of being chilled out to say, hey, chill out. More than likely you're not going to actually do that. From experience, it's not wise to tell somebody to chill out when they're upset. But my point is, and in this message, focus on your own reactivity. And I'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk more about reactivity. Much love.